Well, good evening, everybody. I am DW Pastor Barry, as you well know, if you're watching this channel. I got me a new tie in the mail today, so I thought I'd sport it for this video. And I'm going to do a couple other videos, probably TikTok, and that's going to be news on this channel. If you weren't aware, if you do have TikTok, you can also find me on DW Pastor Barry over at the TikTok app. So go check it out. I have weekly videos, at least one a week. I'm almost trying to do one a day, but I'm not quite up to that yet. They're usually sporadic videos and not planned, but some of them are. And I got some spiritual warfare and healing teachings to do on those channels. The videos aren't usually very long. So anyway, that's my advertisement for TikTok. The reason for the video here tonight is today is November 10th, 2023. Exactly 1 year ago, this was when we had our house fire. And the fire was actually, let me check my time. I didn't check the time before this. Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock here, which means that we were still outside and pulling stuff out of the house exactly a year ago right now. I remember how terrible it was. I was down in the basement. I was cleaning up. And then the door up at the top of the stairs, I live down in it's not really a basement. They call it something else, triplex or something. And I'm downstairs and I'm cleaning, and Sister Julie opens the door and yells that the house is on fire. And so I let my dogs out, or I let my dog out, and then they let theirs out. It was Tristan and Sister Julie upstairs and just me downstairs. And I believe that Caleb, Sister Michaela's husband, he was outside with a friend. They were up in the bush, so they weren't quite there. And I remember running in and out of the house, grabbing my stuff, grabbing as much as I could, and I quickly, if you can believe this, I quickly went on Facebook and I typed in "the house is on fire," which I wanted to indicate to people to start praying. And here was the miraculous thing about the fire. As I kept going in and out, it started in the kitchen. The fire inspector came, and given the questions that he had for us, he discovered that the fire had started. It was electrical. It started in the kitchen, under the cupboard. We have a picture of it. It was a disastrous picture on the night of the fire happening. And I remember it was burning, and so there's a window where the sink was, and I could see when I was outside. I could look up and I could see the window, and I could see the fire burning there. And minutes would pass by. I'm huffing and puffing, running in and out, trying to save what stuff I had. I knew that Sister Julie was okay because unfortunately I could hear her screaming on the other side of the house, so I knew that she was outside. She wouldn't go back in. Tristan was outside. The dogs were running around. It was craziness. Neighbors were starting to gather, but that took a while. The fire department got there rather quickly, and I was really pleased about that. And so I kept going in and out and looking up, and the fire wasn't spreading as fast as I thought that it would have been. And I am convinced to this day that God had angels there. God was doing something to keep the fire contained so the entire house didn't go up, because it probably should have. The unfortunate thing was Sister Julie lost her birds except for one, and she lost her favorite cat. That was Flash. That was very sad. And we almost lost our other cat, Judah. The firefighters pulled him out and he was coughing. He was in a bad way. We didn't know if he was going to make it or not. And looking back now, a year later, as you can see, we're in a new house. We are very blessed. I have my own room now. I'm not living in a downstairs. It was kind of gloomy because it was like a basement almost. But I'm very grateful for what I have. I'm a very blessed man. And, we should count our blessings every single day. And this house where we live, we have good neighbors. Everybody's back on their feet. God's been blessing us this year. I remember the hotel stay, almost 4 months. In the last month of staying there, we were kind of back and forth here and the hotel. And sometimes we went to Brother Michael's mother's place because we had stuff stored there too. And I'm very grateful to her, Sister Valerie, for allowing us to keep things there. We had stuff in the old house still there that wasn't damaged, especially my stuff downstairs. We had stuff at Sister Valerie's house. We had stuff in the hotel. And then we were moving stuff into the new house. So my belongings were scattered in 4 different places. And I remember when I was laying down at night, this night, a year ago, and I was putting up Facebook posts, and I was thanking God that we were safe. You know, yeah, they lost almost everything they had. Fortunately for me, nothing was damaged, but there were some things that got misplaced in the move. For example, this desk has 3 drawers over here, and I left one of the drawers there, and it never got back to us. The company that took everything out never returned it, and that's a whole other story. But anyway, God took care of it, blessed us with this house. Everybody's safe. None of our health has been affected by the fire now. Everybody's pushed through it. You know, there was a lot of coughing and, you know, some breathing issues in the beginning. Not for me, because no smoke. That was another miracle about this fire, is that Sister Julie, she knew to keep the door closed so oxygen wouldn't come from downstairs and go upstairs and feed the fire. And so smoke only began to come downstairs where I was right when the firefighters got there. And I was still running in and out when a fighter came up to me and he says, "Hey, we got to close this door." So they slammed the door shut, and then we had to wait. So I remember a year ago, that's what happened. And it was a Thursday night. It's a Friday night tonight, but it was a Thursday night. We missed church. That church service happened to go late that night. They had a good, powerful service, and the pastor and his wife came to see us after church, and that's when they found out what had happened. So I'm making this video just as a remembrance. It's been a year. I thank God that we are all alive. I thank God that we have a new home. We have new beginnings here. You know, and I can already tell you about so many blessings that have happened here in this home. We've had all our teammates here. We've had our sisters from Arizona, our teammates. They came to visit a couple times. We've already had people here to pray for them. We've done a little bit of ministry work here. My parents and my son came down this year, and we celebrated my son's 18th birthday. So another part of this video will just be a thank you to you. If you are on my YouTube channels, because I have 3 now, if you're on my YouTube channels, if you're on my Facebook, even people on TikTok back then were aware about the house fire. Twitter, not many people are on the Twitter channel, but if you are on any of my social media platforms, and if you saw the news from a year ago and you prayed for us, God bless you for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Here we are a year later. I'm grateful, and I wanted you to know that. I'm feeling very blessed. And maybe this will be an encouragement to somebody if you're going through a tragedy. Maybe you've lost your home to a fire, to a flood, to a tornado, to a storm. I know how it feels to lose things. We had flooding in the last house too, a pipe burst with the freak winter storms we had a couple years ago. And the pipes froze, and Sister Julie turned the water on. Boom, it started leaking all over my desk, this very desk, and some of my stuff got damaged. Books and Bibles got damaged. And I thought there was going to be more damage, so that feeling in the pit of your stomach like you've lost so much, I know what that feels like. It's terrible. So we had that happen, and then we had the fire a year ago. So, you know, and I've moved countries, I've moved continents, and I've had to leave things behind. I know what it's like to almost start with nothing again. I didn't have to do it this time, but when I left the Philippines, I had very little as far as clothing. You know, I had some Bibles, some books, but I didn't really have many things. And the Lord has reminded me this year that I own more things now than I've ever had in my life. So I am truly a blessed man. So again, thank you very much to everybody who has prayed for our ministry. 2023 has been a very hard year as far as finances. We've gotten through okay, but as far as donations, people even donate to other ministries. I've heard other people in ministry say, "Man, this has really been a bad year for finances." You know, and I don't have an income. I live off of donations, and I give what little bit I have when I can. The Lord says to give. I give to my local assembly. Back then, a year ago, we had people who sent money to help out with a lot of the losses. And thank you to those people who donated. You know, most of it went to Brother Michael and Sister Julie, and I appreciate that because they had the greatest loss. For me, it was just more of an inconvenience. And the one thing that I don't have anymore is my dog. He's been given away to a neighbor of Brother Michael's mother in another town. We found out that, at least I did, maybe Sister Julie too, we're allergic to long-haired dogs. So Brother Eli the dog is no longer here with us. He's never been to this house, but I know he's in good hands. I get updates on him. So I don't have a dog anymore, and that came about because of the move and everything. But overall, I look back and we've been through a lot. This year has passed us by quickly, but God has been there. His hand is upon us, and if you are his child, he will supply every one of your needs. If you're starting again, God will help you. And we need to rely on the church of God too. The church is very supportive as well, and it was too, especially with prayers and encouragement. So good on you guys. God bless you. Hopefully in another year from now, there'll be so many more blessings and new stories to tell. So have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video whenever I do it on this channel.